So hello to everyone. Hello, Natalia, and welcome to the new episode of the HR4World podcast. My name is Jelena. I'm an HR consultant, and today I'm here in my role as SHRM Instructor, since that will be our topic today. And Natalia, we only met once before, but we are having our second coffee chat. And I know a little bit about you, and I know that you have successful HR career, and your professional journey is really interesting. So I would like us to kick things off today by you introducing yourself and telling us about your HR professional trajectory.
Thank you, Jelena. Thank you, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here today with HR4World podcast. And about myself, I'm Natalia Pavliutkina. I'm a leadership coach and business trainer. So you know what? I'm starting training. I like to start trainings and facilitations with finding common things with other people. I ask my participants to join in the groups and to share what they have common. So I'm, as well as you, Jelena, is a kind of instructor, but in leadership. And yeah, so this is what I do as an independent professional right at the moment. But previously I had a long HR career. I know that you also had HR career, and this is also what joins us together with HR4World listeners, I think so. And I'm also SHRM SCP certified professional. So this is the other thing which joins us together. And also I'm a co-founder and a leader of Belgrade HR Meetings, which is a professional community for Russian-speaking HR professionals. And I live in Serbia, also as you, for 3 years. For the last 3 years, all the majority of my professional life I spent in Russia. And I can divide the whole my career into two parts. For 20 years, I was in a corporate sphere. I worked as a HR professional for large international global companies in various roles. I was really happy because my HR career was full of interesting roles: business partnering, expertise, compensations and benefits, internal trainer, the leader or head of HR functions. And the second part of my career is here in Serbia as an independent professional, business trainer and coach. And yeah, this is it. And the same question to you, Jelena, because you introduced yourself very, very shortly, but I know that there is much more behind that. So how did you come to be a SHRM instructor and also leadership consultant? What says behind that?
Yeah. Well, I started as a HR specialist in a production company. And after that, my career developed in learning and development. I was a learning and development manager in a multinational corporation. And at one point, I was still very happy with L&D career, but also wanted to know more about other HR functions. So I met SHRM, I think, for the first time in a textbook. It was described as the largest HR association in the world and so on. And I thought that would be the very logical step to get certified by SHRM. So it was back in 2017. And after that, when I broadened my HR role to HR director and later on VP of People and Culture, I think that the reason was curiosity that led me again to SHRM to see, after managing HR and after having this really strategic role in HR, how did my knowledge, understanding, and competencies in HR got deeper or different and so on. So I decided to apply for SHRM SCP, and luckily I passed it. So after that, I think a couple of months after passing the SHRM SCP, I got invited by Atria Group, and they asked me, would I join them in this journey of bringing SHRM to our region? Of course, I was totally in, and then we developed the preparation course, and fast forward, we had like 3 preparation groups so far with really great results. And now we are looking for new instructors. So if you're interested, Natalia, this is an invitation for you. And of course, for all other people who are SHRM SCP, they can call Atria, and maybe I can get more peer SHRM instructors together with me in this journey.
Yeah, that's really great and interesting. And really, I would like to join one day, or yeah, maybe sometime later. Yeah, that's what I would like to do as well in my career, to teach HR professionals. Yeah. This is funny how you mentioned that you first found it in some textbook, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was thinking when I was preparing for our today's conversation, I was thinking about when I've met SHRM name first. And I remembered a really, really funny story. I already forgotten it. But today I remembered that it was, it was 2002, like many, many years ago. And I was just an entry-level professional in my first job in an international company, working in headquarters in Moscow. And my HR director, that was a newly appointed HR director, he called me. And we were working only for 1 month together. And he said, you know what? And he gave me SHRM SCP badge. And he said, I just got SHRM SCP and I got this badge. And I really like how you're working. And I want you to show my appreciation and to give you as a token, this SHRM SCP badge for you to be inspired here.
Wow.
And so that you have some goal in your career, like to grow to that level where you will be like qualified to wear this badge. And I was puzzled a little bit. At that time, I have heard nothing of SHRM, and I thought, what a strange way to show appreciation, but still, okay, appreciation is appreciation. And then I started searching, I started looking, and it took me 14 more years, to look for SHRM SCP, because I never took just CP exam.
Yeah.
I went straight to SHRM SCP. Yeah, so it did work,
So you had a visionary leader, yeah, and he had this trajectory on his mind for you.
Yeah, he planned it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really nice story. I'm always curious about these SHRM origin stories and how did people come up with this decision to apply for it. And I'd like to ask you, honestly, did you ever regret? And I'm asking this because sometimes during the preparation course, usually on second or third session, when people realize that this is not just like any exam, this is really
easy
serious
peasy. Yeah.
Where you have to really prove your experience and competencies, and sometimes to learn more, to learn some areas that maybe you haven't faced before in your company. And then sometimes they talk about this, did I make the right decision? Will I ever make it? And so on. So did you regret, did you have this kind of thinking?
Never. I mean, it took me 14 years to be warmed up for this exam. And I'm really a kind of a learning nerd. So I'm like to learn new things, especially those things that I have never met before. So it more inspired me than disappointed me, to learn those things. And actually, I really did have a vast experience by the time when I was starting to my preparations for SHRM exam. And I touched many HR fields by that time. And I think that this is like a requirement to work in at least 2 different HR fields, like to start with the certification. Because if you didn't, it really is too much to learn them. But if you already made several roles in HR, then the field is not so, vast, not so huge. And for me, it was an interest. And for me also, that was a kind of like to be in a part of international standards of professional not national, not standards of some university, of some specific university, but to be relevant on international level. And that made a lot of me. I like certifications. I collect them as well,
Yeah.
So I never regret it.
Yeah, great to hear you. And that leads me to another question. Moving from one country to another is a huge step. And I'm curious, since I believe that SHRM is really global certification. And I also believe that today the world is like a small village. You cannot have only a local role. So whatever you do, you either have an organization that places its product and sells products internationally, or even if you work in a local organization selling products only locally, you still compete for the same people, for the same talent as other organizations which are international around you, and so on. So all organizations are global, and that is actually the thing that I appreciate in SHRM very much. It is a global certification. But did it help you in any way? So transitioning to HR community here in Serbia, did you use anything that you learned there?
Yeah, interesting question. I will answer it. And the next question is mine, because I want to listen to your experience as well, okay?
Okay.
Well, for me, it's quite a hard and personal question, maybe, because my moving to another country and moving into independent practice happened at the same time. So it was a double challenge. Yeah. And actually moving to the other country, not just for temporary, but maybe forever, and changing my profession, it was associated with some kind of identification crisis. Because, I realized during that time that the most part of me that defined me was those roles that I took organizations. Because when you say I am that and that, the head of something and something in bigger organization, people look at you very seriously, with a lot of respect and acknowledgement. But when you lose it, and when you lose at the same time, like your national background as well, and social capital, and you should acquire new social capital, and you name yourself, you need some roots, to stand on, some new identification rules. Roots. And I think that SHRM SCP was that kind of route. That was a kind of bridge to my previous experience, which was a proof that this is not just a local experience, but a global experience. And also that I am connected, I'm a part of the global world. And my SHRM certificate, my experience of working for SHRM as a subject matter expert, which is also part of my career, that helped me to keep that professional identification. And my question for you is, you said you were already a vice president of people and culture by the time that you decided to go into SHRM SCP. What did it change in your, professional outlook, in your opinions?
It's maybe similar to your experience. Of course, the change was not that big, but it was also moving from a role of internal HR to founding my own company and starting with some freelancing projects and so on. So after passing the SHRM SCP, for me, the first decision came out of curiosity. I wanted to know all these years spent in HR strategy, and not only HR strategy. My role was, I don't know, interesting in a way, because I also participated in setting up the strategy management process overall for the company. So I was curious how my understanding of HR is now different. And all the things that I learned before 10 years ago when I was in SHRM CP preparation, what changed? And I wanted to check that. So I passed the exam. And what happened during the preparation, which lasted for 3 to 4 months, I realized that I even progressed in my understanding of HR. So it wasn't only, okay, I got approval that now I'm senior certified professional, maybe part of my imposter syndrome, I don't know. But it was one part of it, approval. But the other part of it was when you practice thousands of practice questions, you train yourself for differentiating between what are the facts in this case, for example, and what are my, I don't know, subjective opinions and things like that. So I think the thinking becomes clearer, faster, and so on. So this changed for me. And since I started with my HR consulting, it helped me a lot, because when you face a client and you don't know everything that you usually know as an internal HR, when you know everyone around you, for example, especially in mid-sized company where I worked before. So when you don't know these people, you don't know the culture, you don't know the processes or anything about the company, and you get just pieces of it. So how do you recognize what's going on? How do you start supporting them, helping them as HR consultant? So it helped me before in my role of internal HR, and of course, again, as HR consultant, but in different ways.
Yeah, I can relate to very much of what you're talking about being more confident in my decisions. Yes, it's the same for me. And also like to see the whole picture, like to be sure that there are no or almost no fields that I didn't read about, at least didn't read.
That's kind of feeling safe. And yeah, that is also my motivation. That was also motivation when I was L&D manager, when I knew just some parts of the HR, my colleagues, HR business partners, comp and manager, what I can rely on them, and how do we work together as a team on our common HR strategic goals. Yeah, so it's about bigger picture. Can I ask you?
Well, I have one more small question, maybe small, maybe not, because, moving to Serbia, and before Serbia, I lived for 1 year in Georgia. Now I'm living in Serbia. And for me, the question of intercultural differences becomes really, really relevant, to understand those intercultural differences. And SHRM is international exam. Although we are like SHRM professionals, we try to make it like free of biases, of cultural biases, but still this is a reflection of culture, let's say some universal but still Western European culture. Do you feel the need of translation from this like international language to Serbian language, not in directly, but I mean culturally? Do you need to, I don't know, during your preparation courses, to somehow to explain people that like this is the, I don't know, American approach, or let's say Western European approach? Do you feel that?
I think that the order in which those competencies are covered during the course helps me a lot there, because cultural differences is actually one of the first lessons, one of the first pieces of content that we go through. So when start with that, we are more like sensible for the topic of cultural differences in any other areas. So after these behavioral competencies that are taught at the beginning of the preparation course, we only then go to knowledge domains like people, organization, workplace, and stuff like that. So by the time we arrive to those topics, we have already discussed cultural differences. And I also agree that it's maybe the Europe and I think Asia were the first continents that SHRM started adapting the program, the certification and everything like 15 years ago. And in last several years, they also adapted it to Africa, and they're going further, so Australia. So I think it's well adapted to all these areas. And for us from Europe, I think that we were among the first. So it's usually easy to people to understand how it is, the content is described, and what is the cultural origin of it. And a lot of them, I must admit, a lot of them are part of international environments. They work in international companies, so they already know a lot about the global HR.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So my next question for you would be related to people who are maybe now thinking about applying for the exam. And what would be your piece of advice for them? What would you tell them to do while preparing, or what is your experience that you could use to give them some advice?
Okay, so you're talking about people who already decided to go for exam, right?
Or they're thinking, they're dwelling, not sure.
Because I think I would give two separate advices to those who think about that, and for those who have already decided and thinking about how to prepare for it. Yeah, so, well, yeah, maybe I wouldn't even give an advices because I'm a coach, but still, we are not,
wrong question for a coach.
Yeah, but still, yeah. You know what? Actually, the most frequent question that people ask me, HR professionals ask me when they learn that I'm SHRM SCP, they ask me, oh, should I go for that certification? I was thinking about that. Does it really worth it? Yeah, this is the most frequent question. Yeah. And I usually ask them, how much do you expect from your HR career? How much do you want to achieve? Because if you want to achieve the highest level of HR positions, the strategic roles, the partnering roles of being a real partner for business. Yeah. So I cannot imagine to play this role without certification, including SHRM certification. There are different kinds of certifications, but SHRM works fine for that as well. So yeah. And if you are just in the beginning of your career, if you're maybe more oriented to build a family than the profession, then maybe not. Maybe you don't need it at the moment, right? But if you really go into those roles, and especially if your last education, university education, whatever education, comprehensive education in each and every field of HR was 7-10 years ago, you should definitely go for certification. And this is because also when you get certification, you have to keep up, right? You have to recertify, you have to learn, you have to be relevant, right? So this is somehow forces you to be in a good professional condition, the certification, yeah. So yeah, that's the advice for those who's thinking. And the advice who is preparing, this is not a piece of cake. This is a really serious exam. So be ready to put your efforts, to invest your time. And I think people can do exam by their own, because I was preparing for myself. But it really takes a lot of time to make this strategic plan how to get prepared, because it really takes time. It's not possible to be ready in one evening before the exam, just reading something. For me as well, I think I was preparing, I think I took 6 months because I was preparing by myself. And I had my education plan, every day I read the part material, I practiced and so on. And I think it's easier to do it with some course, because people who prepared this course, they already did a part of the job for you, right? They made plans, they prepared all the materials. You don't need to search, you don't need to plan too much. You just need to follow the flow to be a really good student during this flow. Yeah. I think that's it. I think there are no tricks, or all the tricks will be on this way. Yeah, you'll discover them.
Yes, exactly.
And I think you have a lot of people. You've seen a lot of people who passed exams. I know that not everybody passed the exam from the first time. Yeah. So what are they usually complaining on? What are they sharing after that? What struggles do they have?
Well, we have And we are proud of it. Of course, we have a really good pass rate. It's about 90%. And
it's really high. It's much higher than average rate of
it's much higher than average global rate for SHRM CP and both SHRM SCP. So we don't have so many cases when somebody apply and take the exam and
you're a good instructor, Jelena.
Thank you. I think that people get something from that team energy and collective energy when they join together. And I would call myself a pacemaker, as you said. They don't have to plan everything themselves. So I'm there a pacemaker. I don't actually teach them HR. Some of them are more experienced HR than me, but I just give them pace and give them plan and structure and how to do that. So more than 90% of them pass the exam. In one case, when it wasn't the case, it was like near miss, like only 4 points missed for that person. And in the second round, that person passed the exam. So we don't have so much of that frustration of not passing it. But of course, there are these stages, as I mentioned in the beginning, when people struggle with the learning, with keeping the pace, having in mind that majority of them have a job to do for the whole day. They're working, and then they come to the session, and after that I ask them to do all the quizzes, and I ask them if they have done the quizzes, and I ask them also if they meet in their peer group and so on. And I'm always making this pace of all the activities for them, and it's not easy. But majority of them, until the, I don't know, fourth or fifth session, they just accept that it's like that, and they need to put some effort, but it's time limited. It's for 3 months, and then they're done. So yeah, that is the struggle at some point, but later on they are happy. And I always illustrate for them this like 1 second when they do the exam. Then you get that evaluation form where you say about your satisfaction with the overall experience and how the preparation system was and everything how it was. But then you finish that, and usually people do not expect it at that point, but immediately you get the result, and there you can read pass. And I think that visualization of that is really rewarding for people, and it's inspiring for them, it's motivating them. One participant told me that she read that passed, and she invited the guy who was there in the room to read it for her. Is it really passed? Because at that point they are happy and they forget, and they told me they forgive everything, and they are happy at that moment.
Oh, this is such an inspiration, and to be part of this, I don't know, celebration when your students pass some exams. Yeah. I love that. I envy you with this part of your job.
Yeah, you can join me in the future. And
well, maybe, yeah, because in leadership coaching and training, those moments, they are not so, sometimes, you know, they're not so clear that I passed.
Yes. Yeah.
Paper given. You're true leader.
You don't get the paper.
No,
and the badge.
Yeah, and the badge to strive for. Yeah.
So, Natalia, my last question for today would be if because this is a conversation not only about this certification, but also about the development of an HR professional. If you would have a chance to hop in a time machine and give yourself an advice, or maybe to think about it for people just joining the HR professional journey, what would you say to yourself in the beginning, or what would you tell those people who are just starting?
Okay, I will answer, and you will answer the same question as well, because I think this is a great answer and a great question. Yeah, I would say to myself, think more about connecting with other people, without building network in a good sense of that word, connecting, keeping relationships, exchanging ideas, collaborate more, establish more different networks, something like that. Because I think especially Russian-speaking professionals, I don't know, does it relate to Serbian or not? They are sometimes too much dive into this professional field, into their own role. They want to be like the best performers ever, but they somehow forget about building all those people relationships around. And usually we understand that we miss them when we really, really need them in the crisis moments of our life, when we change our careers, when we change our countries, when we change our, I don't know, jobs and whatever, right? So yeah, this social capital is really important. I understood it a bit late, but better later than never. So that will be the advice that I would give to myself.
Thank you so much. And I can relate to this advice, and I can join you in that. For me, what I would add to that is never stop learning, because we are dealing with a part of the business that's called people. So I say no more. I think when we are dealing with that part of the business, it's beautiful, but it's also a huge responsibility. So I think that we cannot approach it like, I'll figure it out, I learn from practice. Learning from practice is probably the most effective way to learn. But so many things in HR have already been figured out. And we cannot rely only on ourselves figuring it out at work in practice, but also we can learn from other people. We can learn with other people. And my piece of advice would be learn with other people, be ready to unlearn, because our profession is changing so fast. And I think that we need to think about that and to be ready to adjust our own approach, to be ready to admit that something that worked before does not work anymore, and to learn continuously throughout the whole career.
Yeah,
that
absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So
thank you very much for this talk, for your questions, for your interesting stories. It was so nice to meet you and to meet all of you distantly.
Yeah, and I think that we need to repeat. I'm thankful to you also for this chat and for the previous one, and I hope we'll have another chance to talk about these interesting things related to HR professionals development, and I would call it a day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.
See you. Bye.